right now. Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome inside the Fan Cave. Bob Pompeani with you until 11 o'clock tonight. The number, you should know it by now. It's 412-575-2600. Hit me up on X at KDPomp. A lot to get into today, and the Steelers missed a golden opportunity to clinch this thing, even though the Ravens took care of their business last night, and that was one way the Steelers could have won the AFC North. It didn't happen because Derrick Henry and company went nuts in the run game. He carried the ball 36 times for 218 yards and 4 scores. The guy's been terrific, past Tony Dorsett on an all-time touchdown list. And he's a Hall of Famer. There's no question about it. And he led the Ravens to that win last night. So that put the pressure on the Steelers today to just go and beat a team that had 3 wins. That's it. Cleveland has had their number in Cleveland for whatever reason. And today was their defense, as the Steeler offense clearly missed DK Metcalf. That suspension could really go and define this entire season. 1 game down, 1 more to go, and he won't be available for this big showdown on Sunday. I'm sure it's going to be Sunday night, although they haven't officially announced it yet. And so Steve Banko and Jeremiah Miller, who are manning the ship here, let me know if that changes. But at this point, we haven't heard anything about a start time or a day. It could even be Saturday, but we'll find out. But it's a winner-take-all scenario, and you wouldn't want that situation to happen. Even if they should win it, it also means that they're going to play a very physical, demanding game against the team in terms of winning a division. This one, and also the one involving Tampa Bay and Carolina, winner take all there. So by now you'd thought we'd have some indication of when these games are going to be played, because people out there have plans as well, and we're already Sunday going into Monday with still no word from the NFL. 412-575-2600 is the number to call. Let me know what you think on the Steelers, their predicament right now, and what's going on there. Number 1 seeds are still potentially on the line, especially in the NFC right now. That's going to go right down to the wire. Could be the Bears, could be the Niners, could be Seahawks. A lot of different things going on there. Buffalo went for 2 today and did not make it at the end of the game. Would have won the game had they converted. Josh Allen missed Shaquille Khalil, and he had an opportunity to make that play, did not get it done. As a result, it's Philadelphia Eagles who went in there and won that game 13-12. And Buffalo, then, as a result, does not win their division. Instead, it goes to New England, and they have been outstanding. Drake May today, 90% completion percentage on 5 touchdown passes, and that was through 3 quarters, and they took him out at the end of the game. He's been on fire. So my other question for you tonight before we go to break, who would be your NFL Coach of the Year? A lot of good choices. And I'm going to start with the 3 guys who have taken over bad situations and turned them into really good ones. You have Mike Vrabel in New England, what he's done there, taking over that team and turning them into a team that could end up with a number 1 seed in the American Football Conference. And then you have another guy, Ben Johnson in Chicago, who's pretty much done the same, although he had a quarterback rating for him, as did Vrabel. Maybe the more interesting one is Jacksonville, Liam Cohen. The guy has been outstanding. He did have Trevor Lawrence, who's gone through 2 other coaches and couldn't get the job done. Those, to me, would be the top 3 candidates for NFL Coach of the Year. Penguins won tonight. They scored 7 goals, had an outbreak, and it's nice to see that for a change. It wasn't one of those games that they were going to lose at the end. 7-3 your final score in Chicago. A big win coming out of their break, so we have a lot to get into. It's 412-575-2600. Call now, air your opinions. This is the place to do it. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, 7 nights a week, right here on KDKA+. We return in a bit. All right, welcome back. This is our Xfinity tweet of the night from Doug Clausen. And this is interesting. The Steelers are winless, 0-4-1 in their last 5 games against teams who enter the game at least 8 games below 500, tying the longest such streak in the NFL history here. You might remember the 2 in between there in 2023, back-to-back home games against the Cardinals and Patriots, and it was Trey McBride going off in that 1 game for Arizona as a tight end, and then it was Hunter Henry, who had 3 touchdown passes from Bailey Zappi in that game. That's not what you want to see there. Some people would refer to this as a Mike Tomlin special. Whatever the case, today was one of those games. 3-12 Browns, although, again, their defense came in as the top-rated defense in the NFL, despite that record, especially against the pass, which also made me wonder, they had 39 pass attempts in this game without their 2 top pass receivers in DK Metcalf and Calvin Austin. You thought they would have run the ball, especially last week after they came up with 230 rushing yards against Detroit. So they ran the ball 24 times. They threw it 39 yards. We'll see how that goes. Here's our KDK.com Connect Penn West University poll tonight. What is the most important factor in beating the Ravens? Stopping Derrick Henry is your first choice. TJ Watt returning, and we expect that to be the case, even though no official announcement on that. And more efficient offenses, 61% going to get that. They need to do more, obviously, on offense, but I think stopping Henry is going to be key. They did it earlier this season, to large part contained him. You might remember at the end of last year in the wild card game, he dominated them, and they never got the ball back at the end of the game. So vote there and call me at 412-575-2600 is the number to call. Also, as I said, Darnell Washington goes out with an injury, a broken arm, as Mike Tomlin indicated after the game. And there was a play that I think we're going to show you here where you see it happen, and you have to watch his face. He's grimacing when he goes down. They're their opinions, so we'll begin with Jim and Cranberry, who's first up tonight. Hey, Jim, what's up?
Hey, that last guy stole my thunder. I mean, I seen that stat. I mean, does this happen every year?
Not every year. That's 5 times since 2020, so averages once a year. But it's the trend that is the problem. You don't want to lose. And those other games happen mid-season. You can make whatever excuse you want. But this game was about what was there for them, and they had to win this game. I thought, just to make everything easier for them moving forward. Now they open up a very difficult Sunday night or whenever this game is leading into the playoffs if they should win this game. But thank you for the call. Let's go to Dave in Export. Hello, Dave. What's going on?
Hey, Bob. How are you tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thanks.
Good.
Hey, I just want to say that if the Steelers can't get up in a big, important game like this and beat a 3-12 team, I think Baltimore and Derrick Henry are going to run it down our throats, man. I know they're missing key players, but good teams find a way to win, and the Steelers did not do that today. And do you think
no, they didn't. But I would say this also about the Ravens. They've had as many problems and as many blown games this year. You could look back at least 3 that come to mind for me where they had fourth quarter leads and they blew them all. And John Harbaugh has had that problem. So these are 2 coaches that have gone through a lot of ups and downs this year, especially. And we'll see which one prevails. But John Harbaugh was outguessed himself many times by not using Derrick Henry as much as he should have. He learned the lesson last night, running him 36 times. All right, Dave, thank you very much. Appreciate the call. Let's go to another Dave. That's Dave in Finleyville. Hey, Dave, what's up?
Hi, Bob. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
Fine, thank you. I would like to answer that question, who is the coach of the year? My thought is probably Ben Johnson of the Bears. But I want to ask you a question. What would you done differently with DK out of the game today? Thanks. I'll hang up and listen to you.
Yeah, well, first of all, the Metcalf absence cannot be understated. It is a big loss for them, and it's, again, regardless of what actually happened there, he needed to stay away and should never have been dragged into that situation to begin with. You can look at the NFL and say, well, you should have known this guy because they made a report last year when DK Metcalf was with Seattle. That's fine, except you don't want to take it into your own hands. Let the NFL or security deal with it, and he didn't, and as a result, he pays a big price, and so do they. What they could have done differently? Well, first of all, I don't think that they needed to try to duplicate what Metcalf does, and a couple of times going down the field, they did. The 4th and 1 play, for example, that's a play that he makes. Maybe Scotty Miller was out there. Not a great pass on that play. I question the play call only because they needed a yard. And then at the end of the game, those 3 passes to Marquez Valdez-Scantling were sort of the kinds of plays that Metcalf will get and make. But he wasn't there to make them. So I would have probably run the ball more. That's what I said at the beginning of this. I would have thought they'd have more success on their ground given what they did in Detroit and not throw the ball so quickly. I think the Myles Garrett component to this, they're always mindful of Myles Garrett. That's how you stop him. They did it the first time when he didn't have a sack against them. They did it today. And some people say, well, they're more preoccupied with that. Maybe, maybe not. All I know is he is a game wrecker even when he doesn't show up on the stat sheet. You have to actually plan for him, just like TJ Watt when he's on the other side. And what happens is if you're going to chip and bring people in to help your tackles, then you kind of reduce the eligibles you have. And today their eligibles were basically Scotty Miller, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and Adam Thielen. They didn't even use Roman Wilson, who I thought would get more playing time as a result of their desperation, but he did not factor in this at all. All right, let's go back to the lines. We have Bruce in Brookline joins us on line 4. Hello, Bruce in Brookline. How are you?
Hey, can you hear me? I'm calling on my iPad. My stepkids hid my phone.
Wow, that's pretty good on your part that you could multitask and come up with a different way of connecting. I appreciate that.
Though, Bob. I'm heartbroken. This team is this town's heart and soul, and the lack of wideout depth came back to bite them. It's organizational arrogance. I always
By
tell
what?
my
By not
stepkids
getting
to be
by
arrogant.
not getting another two receiver.
Otherwise, you end up like your biological father, Ron.
All right, let's go out to Mike in Myrtle Beach. Hello, Mike. How are you doing down there in Myrtle Beach?
Yeah, I'm doing good, Bob. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
You thought the NBA had a gambling problem. I think it showed up in the game today with the NFL. I think there's a conspiracy theory to make sure that game next week with Baltimore meant something.
A lot of people have felt that way, Mike. But
questionable calls by the referees.
But they're questionable calls every week, aren't there? I mean, I understand why people come up with these conclusions because there have been issues with other sports. The NBA, of course, has gone through that with Terry Rozier and with referees on the take and impacting games. You know, the NFL would love to have this game. The NFL would love to have all games matter on Week 18. I don't think they go out and deliberately do it. There were a lot of penalties in that game I thought that could have been called on Cleveland that worked. Same thing with Pittsburgh. You could look at the end of the game and say to yourself, all right, was that pass interference on Denzel Ward? You know, and some days it is, some days it isn't. It wasn't egregious. It was a go out and make the play, and he didn't, Valdez-Scantling. Rodgers wanted that call. But I don't think it's some grand plan. I think the Steelers, if they had played the way they were, capable of playing, could have won and should have won this game. But I also think the Metcalf absence and the Austin absence were too much for them to overcome against, again, a team that is number one in so many statistical categories in Cleveland. You got to give their defense credit. The Steeler offense could have done a lot more, and when they got the turnovers, that's where they failed. They had 2 interceptions. They should have had a third by Nick Herbig. They turned that into nothing. They lost possession on downs, and they had to punt on one of them. They never got to the red zone until the end of the game. They got to do much better than that. Let's go to Rick in Chippewa. Hello, Rick. How are you?
Hey, we're doing well, and I know you are because everybody asks you that question. Listen, my problem is Arthur Smith. He's got to change up this game plan. It's the same old, same old. He has to attack them. Maybe a flea flicker, a double reverse, anything but what he's doing. And the other thing is Gainwell, what'd he get, 6 carries today?
Yeah, I thought he would be a much bigger part of this, absolutely. And he was open at the end of the game, and Rodgers didn't see him on that one play. Freiermuth was open in the middle of the field on another play. And quarterbacks will miss open receivers from time to time based on pressure they see or how they're looking at the field. As far as Arthur Smith, though, today was not good. I would have tried something crazy at some point just to get things rolling. I thought the tush push was a good call because they sequenced off of it again and got 29 yards. So that was their best play of the day. Shouldn't have taken a tush push to get your best play of the day. Last week, Arthur Smith had a very good game. I thought that was his best of the year. So they got to come up with the right magical formula here on Sunday or Saturday. I keep saying that because I don't know what day of the week this game is going to be on. I wish the NFL. Can you guys check to make sure here? Got to get some news at some point. How long are they going to wait? On that note, we'll take a break. 412-575-2600. It's the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. All right, welcome back. We continue with the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Still no time. Jeremiah Miller, our producer in the booth, thinks that they're waiting for the outcome of the 49ers game because they have, number 1 seed implications. They may use that game against Seattle as their game, but Chicago may have something to say about it. We'll see how that goes. Mike Florio on NBC said it's a shade under 50-50 that Lamar Jackson plays in Week 18. He also said, quote, it's a long shot that T.J. Watt would play. Now, I would be a little bit surprised by that. I thought he would play since he returned to practice, and they need him. Obviously, if they win today, then he doesn't have to play next week. They can get a lot of guys off on rest. Instead, now they are forced to play everyone and try to win a game, which should be a very physical, demanding game before they head into the playoffs if they should win that game. As I said, the Penguins won tonight. It's a good win for them. They haven't had many laughers out there, 7-3. Justin Brazeau has been a really good pickup for them with 3 goals, the hat trick in this one. A lot of people didn't think he was capable of that. Boston, didn't believe that. Only 10 goals for them last year. They decided to move on. He signs here in Pittsburgh, and he has been tremendous for them. A big guy, goes to the front on that. He's got good hands, and he once had over 60 goals in the juniors. So he's had history potentially at that level. Can he do it up here more consistently? so far, so good. Anthony Mantha also signed in the offseason. Good move there, too. He has now, I believe, 10 goals on the season, so he's trending in that direction as well. So it's a busy Sunday, as always. We'll wrap it up tonight on the #1 Cochran Sports Showdown. Rich Walsh and I will kick all these topics around at 11:35 on KDKA. And then tomorrow and the rest of the week, we'll find out. It should be a busy week. We'll find out the game time, the day, Steelers-Ravens, winner take all. It's the scenario that exists next weekend here in Pittsburgh. That's going to do it for us. I'm Bob Pompeani. Thanks for joining us. Happy New Year in advance. We'll see you back here again tomorrow night as the Steelers and Ravens will do battle on the weekend.